So I know that the title of this video is kind of weird and surprising, and you guys would probably never attribute this kind of behavior to me, but I've been getting asked quite a lot over the last couple of months a question that I would never think someone would think to ask me, yet for some reason I keep having this question thrown at me. So essentially what about 30 of you have been interested in knowing is if I've ever been violent or if I've ever gotten into like a fight with someone, and I can't believe I'm making a video over this because it's not something that I'm proud of by any means, and I don't condone violence, but I've been meaning to do like an FAQ anyway, and this isn't really an FAQ, but I'm going to share the story with you just because it seems like you guys are so interested in knowing about these really little random specific details concerning my life. So here we go. I did punch someone in the face. I've been in 2 fist fights in my entire life, but I mean, this is the really big one. The other one was not that big of a deal, and I mean, nobody was really hurt, and yeah, so that one's not really worth telling a story about, but this one, I really did punch this girl in the face. It was pretty bad. So starting off, just to tell you a little bit about me, I'm really not an overt, like aggressive, angry, in-your-face kind of person. I really do keep to myself, and although I'm not shy, I am somewhat of an introvert. I just don't really go out very much. I just like to kind of stay at home and chill, and I like to read and play video games and like watch TV shows. Like, that is my thing. I'm not in the club, like I'm not out drinking at the bars. That's not my thing. Like, you know, if that's what other people like to do, that's cool. But I really don't have a checkered past. Like, I am not this wild card that I think a lot of other people may be and may have like swept under the rug about their past. So this all took place, I want to say it was summer before my sophomore year of uni took place. So I think it was like 2008. I was like 19 when all this happened. So as many of you know who've been following me for a while, I am presently married to my high school sweetheart. We've been together for about 10 years, and we've had a really, really long history. But we did have about a 14-month split where we weren't really talking and we weren't sure if we were supposed to be together, and it was just kind of a devastating time for me. So while I was dealing with all of this, you know, I was struggling with, you know, am I really the person that I want to be? Like, where's my life going? Like, what is happening to me? So with that being said, in order to kind of like distract myself, I got really involved in our international student events and our International Student Association, and I did like a lot of volunteering at these things, whether it was like driving people, cooking, or just showing up and like hanging out with everyone. So during this summer, I was specifically really immersed in our Indian Student Association, and it was really a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people, and I'm still really good friends with a few of those folks. Well, kind of surprisingly, I started to fall for this one guy who we'll just call Vijay for the purpose of this video, although that is not his name. I like spent a lot of time with Vijay. We went to church together and we started eating together. Like, he would cook for me, and we just had a lot of fun, and it was so hard for me because internally I was wondering, you know, is this just like a rebound thing? Like, do I really like this guy, or am I just trying to fill some void because I'm broken up with Andrew? You know, I was just really conflicted and I didn't know what was going on. But nevertheless, like, we kind of like kept everything open and we talked a lot about our feelings, and we just spent a lot of time together, and you know, it was fun, and I don't regret that at all. So kind of fast forward from our meeting and our kind of like talking to a cricket match. So this was in the evening, and there were about 50 people that were there just cheering for the different teams playing. I'm sitting kind of in the sidelines because I'm really not very good at cricket at all. I enjoy watching people play it, but I'm awful, so I wasn't going to be out there embarrassing myself in front of everybody. So me and one of my girlfriends, Saloni, were just sitting on this little like bench that was kind of off from the Coliseum where people were playing. As we're sitting there, this girl, who we'll call Bhavna, just randomly approaches me, and she has like 2 girls on each side of her, by the way, so they were coming at me like they were in some sort of gang or something. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, but she comes up to me, and I should also mention this girl was like 24, maybe 25, and she was working on her PhD, and I guess she thought it's appropriate to come act a little 19-year-old, like, you're really cool. Like, I don't know what she was trying to accomplish, but let me get to the good stuff. So Bhavna and her crew, they come up, and she's like, "Are you the one who's been hanging out with Vijay?" So naturally, I'm going to answer this because I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know her name. I'd never seen her before. If I had, it's not like she was memorable. I'd never talked to her before. So I was like, yeah. And so she was like really aggressive, and basically she said that I don't need to be talking to him anymore. He's not into me. And she just went on like this weird tirade about how it's better for both of us if I just stay away from him. And then she and her girlfriends like walked off. So I look at my friend and I'm like, you know, who is that? Because I didn't even know who she was. Anyway, I let it go. I didn't think it was a big deal, and I was not going to like get myself upset over some random person who clearly still has this really odd high school mentality. And I don't know why she thought that that was the way to like handle her affections, because I found out later that she actually liked Vijay and she saw me as competition, I guess. But I still feel like if that's the case, why wouldn't you come up to someone and just say, hey, you know, like I really like him too, you know, I'm not sure who he likes more, but you know, maybe we should talk to him about it so there's no love triangle thing going on. You know, I'm totally down with that, but the way she handled it was not only immature, but it was just kind of disrespectful, because I almost felt like because I was 19, she viewed me as being almost like a little kid, that she could just tell me whatever I was supposed to do, and I was not playing that game. Nevertheless, fast forward again about 2 weeks, there was another cricket match, and I hadn't even really thought about this person because during my undergrad, I was so busy. I was a triple major, and I was in all these different honor societies, and I worked pretty much full time. I worked about 38 hours a week, so I was not going to be worried about this fool at all. So Saloni and I were sitting in our same spot again, just hanging out, enjoying the match, and enjoying watching all the people play. I should also probably take a moment to mention that during this little 2-week period between like Bhavna's first confrontation with me and then the events that I'm about to explain to you right now, I sort of started to realize that I wasn't really wanting to pursue anything with Vijay anymore. It just wasn't what I was expecting, and he and I just had a lot of differences, and I still loved Andrew, and I couldn't get over that, and I didn't want to settle for anything less, especially with the possibility that I could work everything out with my high school sweetheart, now husband, who I love dearly. So it was a good decision. But anyway, at this event, 2 weeks later after Bhavna had first come up to me, she and her girlfriends come up to me and Saloni again, and she's like, I thought I told you to stay away from Vijay. And I probably should have been the peacemaker. I probably should have just been like, you know what? He's yours. I'm not talking to him anymore. But one, I didn't think that was any of her business. And two, it was the way that she was approaching me that made me really angry, and she was really starting to piss me off. At this point, I kind of quipped back at her because I was not nearly as polite as I was the first time she approached me. I was like, you need to stop talking to me. I have nothing more to say to you. Please go away. Which I don't think is that rude, but I guess it really pissed her off because she got really close to my face and she was like, I dare you to say that to me again. So I stood up and I was like, I'm telling you, please get out of my face. You're making me really upset. I don't want to have this discussion with you. I don't want to deal with this. Please just go away. Leave me and my friend alone, and you and your friends can go off and I'll leave you guys alone. Like, I think that sounds like a fair deal, right? So anyway, I guess being her mature macho self, she kind of slapped me, like not really a hard hit, but just like a light tap to my face, and she was like, I'm not going anywhere. And so I told her I'm going to count to 5, and if she's not out of my face, I'm going to make her get out of my face. And so she started laughing and she said, well, I'll start the countdown. So she and her friends, well, one of her friends I should mention, kind of was like, you know, Bhavna, maybe we should go. This isn't really worth it. But, you know, the other 3 were just kind of like laughing, and they're like, yeah, let's count it down. She's not going to do anything. So yeah, as you guys can probably imagine, after the countdown, I ended up punching her really hard in the face. And when I say I punched her really hard, I don't know what came over me because I'm really not that kind of person. I've never punched anyone else in the face again. Yes, I have gotten into one other physical fight with someone, but I did not hit them, and I wasn't even really that involved in it. It was like a group thing that was going on, and I got caught in that by mistake, so I had nothing to do with that. I kind of lost myself for a second, and I hit her so hard. I don't think I broke her nose, but there was definitely a lot of blood that was coming out, and like she had to get stitches in her upper lip, and it was really, really nasty. Anyway, so after I punched her in the face, she kind of like jumped on me, and my friend screamed and like started running off, and we ended up breaking up the cricket match, and like it might have only lasted between 10 and 20 seconds, but it really felt like she and I were sitting there wrestling for like hours. We were just going at it, and somehow I ended up on top of her, and then someone had like picked me up and they were like holding me, and I was like kicking, and she was crying, and I might have been crying, but I was just, I don't know, I had kind of like a bloodlust going on, and I was so livid, and I was gonna tear her to pieces. Anyway, nothing really came of it because she started the fight, but after that moment, she never messed with me again. She never talked to me again. And if there had been any hope of me ending up with Vijay, it was gone, even though I wasn't interested in him anymore anyway. And it's kind of funny looking back on it, because after that I went to like 1 or 2 more events with my friend, and every time we would go, like all of the other girls would just kind of like look at me, and some of them would come talk to me, but then the others would just stay as far away from me as possible. Like they were acting like I was crazy, even though they never really took the time to get the full story from me. I guess they just assumed that I attacked her first over Vijay, which he was not even worth fighting for, and I'm not that kind of girl anyway. I don't think it makes any sense to be fighting over a guy, so I don't know why she thought as a 23, 24-year-old that was the way to deal with her lust for him or her love for him, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that's what happened, and I came out unscathed. Pretty much the only thing that I had to deal with was I had bite marks on my knuckles from where I punched her in the face. I guess I hit her in the teeth too when I got her kind of like in this area. So I had like some scarring here, but it's gone now. And yeah, that's it. I don't talk to any of them anymore. And I don't know if anyone is still in the country who was there when all of that went down, because that was what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Something like that. Yeah, 5 years ago, right? Yeah, right, because it's 2013 and this was 2008. I can do math, I swear. So yeah, that's it. That's the story, guys. That is the only time I have actively been involved in some sort of physical fight where I punched someone in the face. So hopefully that takes care of your inquisitive minds, for those of you who have been asking me about this. So like I said, I'm not proud of it. I don't condone fighting at all, and I definitely think if you can avoid it, do. I was just as much in the wrong as her, because I could have just walked away instead of giving her that ultimatum that she needed to get out of my face. So I promised myself that I will never fight someone again unless it's in self-defense, which you could argue that that was, but I think that I was really aggressive as well, and I was irritated, and I wasn't in the mood for her crap. So, you know, that was kind of bad of me, and I do regret it. And sometimes I wish that I could go back and, you know, stop myself from doing it, because who knows, maybe she and I could have been really good friends. But I mean, probably not. She was kind of a bitch, if I can say that. Anyway, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy this really weird video. I do have a tutorial coming up sometime. I don't know, I've been having a difficult time getting some recording done just because I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I am planning a tutorial. It's in the works, as well as a recipe video, because I've been baking a lot. And if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you'll see that I just made some delicious scratch blueberry muffins and blueberry cake. It was so good. So I might do a recipe video over that if you guys are interested. Okay, that's it. I'm really done. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Both of the links are provided in the description box below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!